Suho acknowledges that fighting an S-rank hunter without abilities is nearly impossible. Suho rises and considers using all his points to increase his strength. Instead, he decides to distribute the points across all his abilities and crafts a large number of shadow items to cover his entire body. He uses all his points to enhance his abilities and levels up to rank 42. Suho challenges Dongsoo to a second round and promises to fight with his full strength. Dongsoo becomes irritated by Suho's transformation, but something about the shadow power strikes a chord in his mind. He begins to feel an uncontrollable terror as he recalls his time as a shadow under Suho's father in the previous timeline. He remembers that his name was Greed in that timeline, and the familiarity of Suho's power leaves him shaken. However, Suho decides to change his appearance as he feels it does not suit his style. Dongsoo begins shouting uncontrollably and starts recalling all his memories from the past timeline. He remembers how he was killed by Suho's father and begins shaking nervously. He recalls the name of Suho's father as Sung Jinwoo, and Suho wonders how Dongsoo knows his father's name. Baru suspects that Greed might have regained his memories from the past timeline, and Suho asks what he means by greed. Baru explains that Dongsoo was killed by his monarch in the past timeline and became the shadow soldier known as Greed. Suho is surprised that Dongsoo regained his memories without the shadow key, and Baru reveals that it is possible since Chairman Wu also regained his memories without the shadow key. Dongsoo remembers the picture of Suho's parents and realizes that Suho is the son of Sung Jinwoo. He wonders why Sung Jinwoo is not working as a hunter in this world and charges at high speed to attack Suho. He sees this as the perfect chance to kill Suho and feels humiliated for being forced to work as a slave in the past timeline. He decides to kill Suho for making him a slave by his father, and Suho summons a weapon made of shadows. Suho slashes multiple times at Dongsoo's hands and summons even more shadow weapons. He pierces Dongsoo with the weapons, and Dongsoo struggles to understand how Suho has suddenly become so much stronger. Suho continues his relentless attacks with shadow weapons, and Dongsoo becomes confused about how Suho is able to summon so many weapons. He tries to recall if Sung Jinwoo had the same ability, and Baru begins to sense the rapid growth of his young monarch. Baru feels confident that Suho will soon reach the same level as his father. Suho finishes his attack with a final strike using his dagger. Dongsoo notices that Suho's strength closely resembles his father's, but refuses to give up. He uses all his strength to destroy the entire area and decides to retreat for now to save himself. He plans to prepare for a future battle to kill Suho and starts running away at high speed. He thinks about ambushing Suho when his guard is down or threatening someone close to Suho. Suddenly, Suho leaps from behind and attacks with a shadow sword, piercing Dongsoo through his body. Dongsoo asks if Suho intends to make him a slave again and reveals that he will desperately resist in hopes of getting a chance to kill Suho and his father. Suho believes that Dongsoo is chasing a greedy dream and tells him that he cannot defeat his father if he cannot even defeat him. Suho ends the fight with a single decisive strike, finishing Dongsoo for good. Suho levels up and understands that Dongsoo harbors deep hatred for his father. He asks Baru for his thoughts on turning Dongsoo into a shadow, and Baru believes it is an honor to serve the young monarch. Suho feels that becoming a shadow is more of a punishment as it forces a person to fight as a loyal soldier even after death. He decides to use Dongsoo as a shadow weapon instead, which would only extract his powers. Suho attempts shadow extraction on Dongsoo, but it fails as Dongsoo resists. Suho grows frustrated and tries Shadow Arise again, but it fails for the second time. Baru becomes angry that Greed is rejecting the young monarch. Suho places his hand on Dongsoo's lifeless body and admits that he has no interest in understanding someone like him. He only wants Dongsoo's strength and resolves to use it forcefully for the sake of the world. Meanwhile, Choi, Jong-In, and Chairman Wu arrive at the construction site to check on Suho. Chairman Wu suspects that Suho might be fighting an intruder and grows concerned after noticing the hole in Suho's house. Suho notices the Hunters Association members and realizes that they were alerted to the danger. Chairman Wu asks about the intruder, and Suho explains that it was Dongsoo. Chairman Wu assumes that Suho has already dealt with him, and Suho confirms it. He creates a gauntlet using Dongsoo's power. The scene shifts to the Hunters Association, where a large group of reporters waits outside. New awakeners are being evaluated, and one of them is classified as a D-rank hunter. Another awakener named Kim feels confident that he will receive a higher rank and hopes for at least a B rank. Suho is called for his next awakening evaluation and feels slightly awkward. Kim silently wishes for Suho to be ranked as an E rank, but to everyone's surprise, Suho is officially re-evaluated as an S rank hunter. The reporters are shocked to see the same person involved in the Jisan correction correctional facility incident. They bombard Suho with questions about his thoughts on being evaluated as an S-rank hunter, but Suho simply smiles in response. Chairman Woo feels relieved that Suho has fulfilled his promise of becoming an S-rank hunter. Baek Yoonho expresses confidence that Suho could become a national-level hunter in no time. Choi Jong-In urges them to move forward with their next step, which involves uniting all the guilds in South Korea and eventually bringing together hunters from around the world. Baek Yoonho warns that the apostles will not allow them to proceed as planned. Chairman Woo reveals that the star fragment is evolving and spreading further. He decides to narrow down the people he can trust, fearing that someone from the apostles might be hiding within the Hunters Association. Meanwhile, Park Dojin watches Suho from the sidelines and heads to a gate hidden in a forest. His believers continue killing magic beasts, and Park Dojin orders them to gather. The believers kneel before him, and Park Dojin reflects that the star fragment can only turn A-rank hunters into his followers, but it still cannot affect S-rank hunters. He knows that Suho is expanding his influence and actively recruiting new guilds for the battle against the apostles. Park Dojin patiently waits for the fourth fragment to appear and grows confident that he can obtain the power of shadow authority from Suho. He vows to defeat Suho at any cost, even if it means using the power of the fifth fragment. Suddenly, a woman hunter calls out to Park Dojin, and he is shocked to see someone else in the dungeon. The hunter feels relieved to have run into a new S-rank hunter, but Park Dojin kills her without hesitation. He questions how someone like her managed to enter the dungeon, and the hunter admits that his instincts are sharp. The hunter begins to transform and reveals that she knows he is connected to the apostles. Park Dojin demands to know who she is, and the hunter introduces herself as Arsha. She explains that she is a resident of the present world, but is willing to make a new proposal.